Today, I'll tell you about the 15 worst PS5 games of 2024 that failed to meet players' expectations. These projects turned out to be real disappointments. And if you want to save your time, nerves, and money, make sure to watch this video until the end. Concord, this multiplayer shooter, was introduced as a futuristic game with dynamic battles and unique characters. However, upon release, the project turned out to lack personality and innovation. The maps felt empty and uninspired, the characters were generic, and the gameplay suffered from poor balance. On top of that, the servers kept crashing, making the game practically unplayable. A couple of months later, the project was simply shut down. Skull and Bones is yet another sad story from Ubisoft. The game was supposed to be a pirate-themed action-adventure with an open world, but ended up as a tedious resource-gathering simulator. Players had to farm materials to upgrade ships constantly, and the missions boiled down to the same formula: sail, capture, return. The gameplay quickly became monotonous, while bugs and a lack of content drained players' interest. Unknown 9 initially intrigued audiences with its trailers. The game promised a unique story full of mystery and secrets. However, in practice, it turned out to be too slow-paced, with an unclear narrative delivery and a weak atmosphere. The puzzles felt like drafts, and the enemies were so repetitive that every battle felt like a rehash of the previous one. Critics and players alike called it a complete waste of time. Rocksteady Studios, the creators of the successful Batman Arkham series, tried to surprise us with a game about a team of anti-heroes. Unfortunately, instead of an engaging story and well-developed characters, we got a boring shooter. The gameplay revolved around endless gunfights with faceless enemies, and the promised uniqueness of each character turned out to be just a marketing gimmick. Even DC fans were disappointed. Silent Hill made a comeback, but not the way we expected. This project was a short demo, more like a tech showcase than a full-fledged game. The storyline was almost non-existent, the atmosphere felt like a cheap knockoff, and the gameplay was limited to wandering through empty hallways. Fans of the iconic series felt betrayed. The humorous style of South Park could have saved this game, but Snow Day offered nothing but repetitive missions, outdated graphics, and clunky controls. This game received low ratings due to its monotonous and uninteresting gameplay. Even the jokes and references to the show couldn't help. The game felt like an unfinished project released to cash in on the fans. Sports simulators from EA have long been criticized for lacking significant improvements, and 2024 was no exception. The new NHL, Madden, and EAFC felt like updates that could have been released as patches. Graphics, mechanics, and game modes remained almost unchanged. Even longtime fans of the series started voicing their dissatisfaction en masse. EA attempted to improve the new lineup after parting ways with the FIFA brand, but the result was disappointing. Weak AI, bugs, and the absence of meaningful changes in the modes made the games unenjoyable. The remake of the classic Metal Slug game, meant to evoke nostalgia, failed due to its lackluster execution. The graphics stayed on par with the original, but the gameplay was too monotonous for modern players. The game offered nothing new, apart from a weak attempt to appeal to fans' emotions. Fans eagerly anticipated the return of the iconic racing series, but were left with a mediocre game. The maps were dull and empty, the graphics outdated, and the car handling physics left much to be desired. Even the promises of a diverse open world fell flat. It simply wasn't engaging to explore. Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. It is a fighting game based on the popular anime, which seemed promising but turned out to be underdeveloped. It lacked content, the combat balance was poorly designed, and battles quickly became uninteresting. Even Jujutsu Kaisen fans called the game unworthy of the franchise. The fighter was disappointed with low-quality animations and dull gameplay, failing to capture the dynamic essence of the original. Pneumata was supposed to be an atmospheric game with an intriguing world and unique mechanics, but in practice it was dull and repetitive. The storyline was barely noticeable, and interactions with the environment failed to immerse players. The game didn't live up to its potential and was quickly forgotten. This ambitious horror game suffered from technical issues and a weak narrative. Many players complained about broken mechanics and a lack of tension. If you're a fan of the genre and are willing to turn a blind eye to technical flaws, Pneumata can offer an interesting experience with elements of survival and psychological horror. Food Truck Simulator could have been an interesting and original concept, but it ended up being overly simplistic and unimpressive. The graphics were mediocre, and the gameplay quickly became boring. Managing orders felt too repetitive, and the controls were awkward. Ultimately, the project failed to meet expectations. Taxi Life, a city driving simulator, promises an engaging experience of driving through a city and completing various missions. However, in reality, it boiled down to monotonous driving with no interesting content. The graphics were outdated and the controls felt unrealistic. Players quickly grew bored as the game failed to offer anything new. Funko Fusion. The popular Funko figurines could have been an excellent foundation for a game, but instead players were met with a dull arcade game featuring poorly designed gameplay. The game became repetitive quickly and struggled to keep players' attention. Even fans of Funko figurines noted that the project was disappointing. While it seemed like a bright and cute game, it turned out to be shallow and boring. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade: Wrath of the Mutants. It seems the best days of the Ninja Turtles are behind them. This arcade game failed to meet expectations. A weak story, repetitive levels, and monotonous gameplay made it boring. Many franchise fans were disappointed with the game's quality. The attempt to revive the classic TMNT formula fell flat due to outdated graphics, uninspired level design, and a lackluster combat system. And that's the full list of the worst PS5 games of 2024. Each of them had potential, but it seems the developers failed to bring their ideas to life. Hopefully, this list will help you avoid wasting your time on projects that aren't worth it. If you enjoyed this review, give it a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which of these games disappointed you the most, or if you disagree with anything on the list. Remember, even weak games have a chance to improve with patches and updates. Support developers who strive to release quality projects instead of chasing easy profits. If you liked this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on new releases. Thank you for watching until the end, and remember, your gaming taste always matters more than ratings or reviews. See you in the next videos!